right, folks, we're going to do something a little different. So most of the stuff we're doing on this truck is just getting it up and running, making it, you know, a better truck, using mostly factory stuff, trying to make it kind of reliable and good to go. Well, one of the things that Jeremy's dad, Byron, wanted to do was upgrade the front brakes, or upgrade all the brakes, give me some power brakes, and upgrade the front to discs. So we started hunting, and we ended up coming up with its Master Power Brakes. And you can order this kit, and if you got a, I forget the year ranges that it works on, but
it's 65 through 67.
65 to 67.
This kit.
So this kit's pretty cool, man. They pretty much include everything you need. So we've got the new master cylinder and brake booster. It's all one piece, one nice cohesive unit here. Comes with a new boot. It bolts up to existing holes on the firewall.
Packaged very tight, and
yeah,
so it's well protected.
Yeah, this one we actually pulled it on out of the box because it was a huge box. So, but these things are really packaged well, so you don't have to worry about damage in transit. We've already been through most of the stuff just to verify, and everything's nice and clean. There's nothing kinked up, dented up, and beat up. So, so the whole kit, it was around $1,500 after shipping and taxes and everything. It's around $1,600. It's a little bit of a spend, but it looks like some really good high quality stuff. So we're gonna put these on here in just a little bit. Figured share with you guys all the different pieces and parts that they included with it. So we'll slide him off to the side.
You want to get that?
And then we got in this box, and you can see how well they packaged this thing. Got this nice wrapped foam stuff everywhere. I really need a taller chair. And so in this box we have our rotors and hubs, and they're very, very nice. Let's see, we'll slip all this stuff off to the side. And we can get rid of that box. So, got the new rotors. Everything's nice and clean on these guys. You can see how they're put together on the back side. It's all bolted in. I honestly am not sure because we didn't look into it, but I would assume that these are probably based on another production model rotor. So you probably could it probably has it somewhere in the documentation. We just haven't looked it up yet. But more than likely when it comes time for replacement on the rotors, I would assume these are going to be something that's readily available. So
yeah, it's a hub ring.
Yeah, so everything bolts on.
So that way the change out is just unbolting,
yeah,
leaving the hub and assembly in, and be able to replace.
Yeah, but there's the rotors. I got a little weight on them.
Nice little bleeder kit.
Yeah, and it even comes with a little brake bleeder kit, which is pretty cool. That'll save a lot of time getting this stuff bled through, since we're having to run all new lines and everything. Comes with the front soft lines, so new rubber lines for the front, new retainer clips, new banjo bolts. It's packaged up nice. Then let's see, these are the connectors for the proportion valve.
Yep.
So this comes off the master cylinder down to the proportion valve, which I don't know if you can see in the video, but this bracket bolts up underneath here, so it actually bolts up with the master cylinder. So
pads.
And it comes with brake pads. So nice looking pads. And we'll throw a link down in the description to where you can find this kit in case you're hunting for something like that.
That's the hardware and everything. It
comes with all the hardware. You got your wheel seals for hub seals. You got your new bearing kits. Got your caliper brackets. Got your castle nut, retainers, all the bolts, all sorts of good stuff down in here. This is all your extra hardware that you would need.
And a slight correction, this says it's 65 to 72.
Oh, okay, so this does fit 65 to 72. So, and there's our instruction kit, and it, we'll dig into that later, but more than likely if it's got factory style replacement parts on it, it'll be in there. Calipers, and these are the calipers. Where's that box open at? There it is.
It's a trick. It's a good thing we're not keeping the plastic.
Yeah. But new calipers, single piston. Look like a factory style. Heck, they almost look like a GM style. But little sliders. So yeah, all in all, pretty good little hardware, pretty good little kit. So we'll dive more into that here shortly as we put all this stuff on the front of the truck and start plumbing the brakes and try to get the brakes all sorted out on this thing. But like I said, I'll throw a link down in the description to where you can purchase this kit. It's Master Power Brakes. What is the part number on this guy in case somebody wants a part number? The part number is BM 15471 472 7473 7474 475-1 or 2. So there's a lot of part numbers on here, but anyways, Master Power Brakes, check it out. Looks like a pretty good kit, and I'm sure we'll have some more to talk about this once we stick it on the truck.
Yep, let's get rolling.
We'll catch you back later. All right, so we're going to get this all set up and ready to go. So this is our first main bracket that goes on. It ties in right here on this bracket. Try to get that in the camera frame. Ties in here. The caliper bracket bolts up to the front of it, and then your steering arm kicks in on the back side of everything. So we're gonna go ahead and get this all bolted in and ready to go. Let's go ahead and start off by getting this thing hung up here. So there's three different length bolts that they use for these. This one's like a 2-inch, then they got a 2 3/4, and then they got a 3-inch bolt for this, for getting this bracket and the for getting this bracket on and getting the steering knuckle reattached. And I need 2 washers. It's all grade 8 hardware, so that's nice. Gives you good warm fuzzies, knowing that you got some beef back there. And I like to get stuff just finger tight off the bat, so that way you're not fighting yourself if you put something in incorrectly. So, and then we have the, so up here we have the 2-inch bolt, down here we have a 3-inch bolt, and then over here on this back side, which I'm not sure if you can even see, that's where this 2 3/4-inch bolt goes to reattach the back side of the steering knuckle. Okay, I'm really enjoying the simplicity of this kit. It's really not, it's not rocket surgery on this thing. So then you take your bracket and it bolts up here on the back side of this first bracket that we put in. And now we get to get in here and get these all cranked down, get them all snugged up, and then torque specs on this was torque it down to 100 foot-pounds. So I'm just going to cinch them all down, and then I'm going to put the torque wrench on. Go to get this main bracket first. Actually, all right. So now we're gonna go ahead and finish tightening these all down. I went ahead and just went and grabbed my little battery ratchet. I think my battery's down on this thing. Now we'll go through and get these all torqued down. I got my torque wrench set to 100 foot-pounds per the directions. Change the angle of the dangle here. So now we got the brackets on. So now we're going to go back. We got to put the hubs together. So we got to pack the wheel bearings, put the hub seal in, and then we can slide the whole seal on and get her cranked down and get it seated. And then we can go on to mounting the caliper up and moving on from there. All right, so we're going to get started on getting these wheel bearings. You got your inner bearing, and then Kruck's got the outer bearing. So there's no easy way to do this. Some folks use gloves. My hands and his hands are both too big for gloves most times. They end up just busting them out, little rubber gloves. So just get you a nice little glob on your hand. You just slowly start working it in from the bottom towards the top. And when you start seeing it spit out the top, then you know you're packed up good. And then grease is your friend. You can't use too much grease. Too much is never enough, except when it's just about right. So when it comes to grease, that is the way it goes. So we'll get in here and get packing on these turkeys. And it doesn't take that long. It's just a messy process is all it is. So key point there is always have plenty of paper towels and stuff at the ready for whenever you get done with it, so you can clean up.
And I usually spin mine as I go and kind of just cram more in, spin it a little bit, helps it move in there and get all the cracks and crevices that are hidden. And then that way I know it's spun and plenty full.
Yeah, I like to pack mine up a little bit and then spin it afterwards and then slather it. There's no real wrong way to do it, as long as you get grease on everything.
including yourself.
Yeah, including yourself. I'm gonna still. Oh, you already got that little guy done?
Yep.
And then we always grease, or at least I always do, inside the hub as well. I know some folks don't. Maybe just put a little thin line of grease in there. Like I said, I grease the crap out of these things. All right, now we can go and throw on our hub seal. Go ahead and give it some grease as well. And go ahead and get this inside rubber.
So it don't tear.
Yeah, that way you don't want it to tear. Ain't nothing worse than going in a dry hole. All right, so we got that all set up. So you can go about putting in these hub seals a couple different ways. One way, you can take them and get them pressed in if you got a press. I have a press, but it's over in the corner. There's a bunch of crap in the way. So the way I've always done it in the past is I usually set it on the concrete, but Kruck's gonna donate his legs to this. And just get you a block and get her kind of flushed up on there, and just give her some love taps to get them started. Oh, popped it right out. I'm gonna have to stand for this. I can't get the right angle on it. And just double check, make sure she's seated all the way around. It's a little tall on this side.
Not really.
But that should be good enough. All right. So we got to pack the bearings greased. Oh, yeah. And then your cap, a lot of people don't put anything in them. They just slide it over there. Again, too much grease is never enough, except for when it's just about right. So I like to slather this sucker up and just, I don't quite fill it up, but I get it, you know, probably half. That way once it heats up, this thing will never starve for grease. All right, so we got that all square. Now we're gonna run over here to this back over here to the spindle and grease the spindle up real quick and drop this hub on. Catch up with you here in just a second. All right, welcome back over here to the spindle. And so now we're gonna lube this guy up. Yeah, that's how it likes it. That's great. All right, so we got the we got the shaft lubed up. Oh dear God. Okay, all right, and we got the old spindle here. Now, one thing that we did see, because, you know, as much as we are, we're not trained mechanics, but we've been doing this a minute. One thing we did see in the directions are these rotors are actually directional in the way that they evacuate the heat So they're set up with inside of here, the channels actually go in this way, so they kind of have an arc going in that way. So it actually said in the directions to make sure that these are fanning backwards. So as it's hitting, it's doing this number instead of grabbing air. So it's letting air, you know, vent out of it. So I believe we got that guy seated in there. I'll put this outer bearing in. Okay. Put our retainer in. Now, one thing we did notice is it comes with a new nut for the spindle, and we're just checking everything earlier, and this nut does not thread on. If I was to put a wrench on that thing and start cranking, I'd probably strip the spindle out or just totally booger up the nut. But either way, this nut doesn't work. So luckily we still had the old nut. I went ahead and just kind of wiped her down, cleaned it up a little bit. So that's the only issue we've run in so far with this what is it, Master Power brakes. That's the only issue we've run into so far, is this nut just does not thread onto the spindle. So luckily, like I said, we still had the old one and it's in good enough shape, so we'll go ahead and run that guy on. Go ahead and get the preload set on this guy. Now, I like to set them a little tighter than you normally would, because as that bearing seats and breaks in, it's going to want to loosen up a little bit. So I like to run them down a little tighter than most folks probably would. Don't know if that's frowned upon, right or wrong. It's just the way I do it. So yeah, so we got a pretty good little drag on it. So now it's tightened up and back it off about a quarter turn or so. And it's still got some good resistance there, but it's not killing you to turn it. So we'll call that good. And then we set on our little keeper. And then run our cotter pin through. And on these guys, on hubs and stuff where I have the ability to, I spread them opposite. I know some folks just fold them both sides over, but I just take and run them opposite directions. So there's that. And then got our cap shoved full of grease. Get that seated on there. Yeah. You can use a regular hammer for this, but you're going to beat the crap out of this thing. You can probably put a piece of wood in between. Probably put a piece of wood in between and keep it from denting it up too bad. I'm just using my little dead blow. I'm still caving it a little bit, but it makes me feel better knowing that it's not just absolutely destroying this cat. All right, she is seated. So now we're gonna hit this with a little PB Blaster WD-40 mix. Make sure them brakes are good and slick. Now, actually, we're just gonna use some good old brake clean. And just hit both sides of it. Get any incidental grease and crap off of it. And I'll probably do this again after I get the caliper on. All right, so we got the caliper. We're gonna go ahead and get it mounted up. So calipers, you just got to make sure side to side, you want to make sure your air bleeder is facing up. That way, as you bleed the system, you know, air is going to want to rise and go to the top. So that way you got that pointed up so you can bleed the system out really, really well. So we're going to take our calipers, go ahead and load in our pads. Maybe. There we go. Get front pad on. Yep. And then we'll slide her in. Well, let's get that one in there. Okay. I'll turn this out just a touch so I can crank this in. And then this is a 3/8 Allen wrench that we're using to tighten up these slides. And these are supposed to be cranked down to, I think, 35? Yeah, 35 foot-pounds. That's good enough. All right. And there we go. So we've got the new hub, the new rotor. So now we got the hub, the rotor, the caliper, and the pads in. And sure looks really nice. So the only thing left to do on this is to, still got to run new brake, new hard lines. The kit came with soft lines to feed back up. So we got the new soft lines on it. And the new hard lines routed and on, and then we can get the bleed in the system.
Hey, it's Matt back again. We're wrapping up this very time-consuming process. Got this passenger side finished up from where it was. Then we're going to come over here and I gotta weave it through all of this fun stuff and get it back on there and get her bolted up. As you can see, I finished this one middle of the week. So other than that, we'll see you when it's done.
All right, folks, here's what we're gonna do. I got a little downtime, just me running by myself for just a little while. So I'm not sure if it's showing up on camera very well, but this part of the front end is all red. Up and behind the grill, it's all red. Inside the engine bay is all red. Outside the truck's almost all red. You know, we got a few little black accents on the bumper and the grill and all that. So I'm gonna pull this front grill piece off, and I'm gonna go ahead and shoot this back piece. I'm gonna shoot it black just to make it blend in, and then I'm going to get underneath the hood and pull all the wire and everything loose, pull it all back over on top of the motor, cover the motor up, tape it off, sand it down, and shoot it black. So inside of here will be black, and back here behind the grill, this will be black. So it just kind of blends in a little bit cleaner, looks a little bit nicer. So that's what the plan is. I'm gonna put this on a time lapse because this is gonna take a good little bit. folks, so I'm gonna call it a night. I'm pretty tired. Yeah, a lot of hard work, a lot of stuff going on here. Not totally done yet, but went through, painted that area behind the grill, which really made that look a little nicer. Really got this popping. So I'm glad I did that. That shows that turned out really, really well. Also went through, rewrapped this electric for the headlights and the signals, and didn't have any fasteners, so zip tied them up. But rewrapped that with some electrical because the old stuff was all painted red. And then came in here and I shot under the hood, and it's not show quality, and we're not looking for show quality, but it looks a hell of a lot better than it did with all the red under there, because it just kind of blew, it just kind of blew everything out. So now there's a little bit of contrast. It really pops. I've still got, like, these are not red wires. This is a bundle of wires that's been painted red. I've got another set here. I'm probably just going to take and just electrical tape those up, just clean them up, unless I can find some split loom, and then I'll split loom it. But still got to put everything back and let this all dry up really good. This is still pretty wet, so, but I think it turned out pretty doggone well. So a little bit of elbow grease, some couple cans of spray paint, and she looks great. All right, folks, that's going to do it for this one. So those front brakes turned out really, really nice. That is a really good kit. Can't say enough good things about it. It was just a really solid kit. Got the engine bay and everything done, so that turned out really, really nice. And then Kruck got the valve covers all polished up and shiny. Huge improvement from the way it was before. So anyways, thanks for watching. Do appreciate it. If you could hit that like and subscribe button, that'll help us out a heck of a lot. Until next time, just remember, it ain't got to be perfect, just good enough. Y'all have a good one. We'll catch you later.